Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Apollo's Odyssey. Tonight, I'm doing the show a little earlier than I normally do because I'm actually the studio that I'm moving into for Apollo's Odyssey, which I have been talking about in the last few shows, is we're probably going to be changing the time to around 3 p.m. Pacific, which I feel like may be a little early for people on the West Coast, but it's looking like that's how it's going to have to work out for the studio once I start going live from there. And by the way, the studio is almost complete. We'll probably take another couple weeks. I didn't really realize how much work would be going into it. We're going to be putting in soundproofing and setting up, like basically a whole set and backdrop for my show. So I know everyone likes my space fireplace back here, but moving to this location is going to be really amazing because I'm actually going to have a team of people helping me out when, as this grows, which I'm really excited about. Instead of just kind of running everything on my own, I'm actually going to have someone running my show for me. I'm going to have different camera angles. Probably going to actually start filming some scripted things once this all gets going. And I have some really exciting ideas for that. Some really well thought out, scripted, and well edited, kind of more in depth things. So I'm really excited to do that. And so that's going to be really fun. So please, if you want to help me get this whole studio thing going, would be much appreciated if you could check out my website, www.shamaspirits.com, and feel free to just purchase my art. If you want to help me out, purchase my spirits. They are handcrafted energy channeling devices, which I invent myself. They all have copper coils, crystals, magnets, and sand I collect from sacred places around the world down the insides. I never make any two the same. They're all painted with crop circles that have been found around the world. And basically, they are all going into funding my studio and getting it all going. So, would be much appreciated. I believe I have about 7 spears left. Thank you, Lucky Jackson. Thank you so much. 1111. Yeah. And so, yeah, I'm getting all this going, and it's a lot of work, but it's definitely coming together. Every person that gets a spear gets a scroll that talks about what it means to have one. It's kind of a secret until you get one to find out what's actually in it. But it's basically a certificate talking about what it means to have one. And since this is the alternative healthcare show tonight, I will be getting into energy channeling, healing modalities a little later on. So if you're interested in any of that, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about how you can use these also a little later on. So stay tuned for that. What else do we have here? Oh, also, so like I said, this is the alternative healthcare episode. I actually have a major background when it comes to alternative healthcare, which I'll get into in a little bit here. But first, I want to kind of talk about a friend of mine who she just started her own company, and it is sort of like an alternative makeup, like healthcare company. So, a lot of products these days, like a lot of makeup we get is just full of toxins and heavy metals and all sorts of things. And it's like unbelievable how many chemicals us women are putting on our faces on a daily basis. And this woman is a young mother. She's been a good friend of mine for many years. And I just want to help her promote her company. I think it goes really well along the lines of tonight's show, and also in honor of it being Women's Day yesterday. I just think it's a great idea to talk about her company, and definitely, so check out her store. Her company is called Green Beauty House. And like I said, it's a non-toxic beauty shop. So it's not just cosmetics, but it's also different types of beauty products that are completely non-toxic, all natural. And so the EU has actually banned 1,300 chemicals in cosmetics, but the FDA has only banned 11. So the products in our stores here in America are really not so great for your health. So I definitely recommend checking out her store. And it's not just for women; it's also for babies and for men. There's products for men there as well. And, like I said, she's a young mother herself, so she actually has a lot of products for babies there as well. So if you want to help out a young mother in honor of Women's Day, make sure you check out her store. Like I said, it is Green Beauty House. And I actually commented the name of the store in the description, but the website is www.greengrnbeautyhouse.com. So grnbeautyhouse.com. So make sure you go check that out. Highly recommend it. She actually gave me this sample recently. It's Oleo and Aso, and this is like a non-toxic lip balm, which is really amazing. I mean, it's like tinted, but it just has like really amazing products in it. Yeah, so let's see here: nut oil, olive fruit oil, beeswax, and citrus flavors. So yeah, it's really amazing. Like I said, all non-toxic products here. One thing me and this friend of mine have in common is we've always kind of had issues with our skin, and we're both very sensitive when it comes to our skin. A lot of I've had issues with breaking out my whole life, and definitely I've noticed using non-toxic products makes a huge difference. So that's why she started the store. And also, being a young mother, she wants to be able to run her business at home because she has two kids at home. So she needs to have more time at home. So if you want to support a young mother, please go do that. Like I said, greenbeautyhouse.com. That is GRNBEAUTYHOUSE.com. And I also left that in the description for the show if you need to go back and check that out. Okay, so let's get started here. Also, if you would like to donate at any point during the show, I have a tip jar. You just go to @Apolla on PayPal, and that is my tip jar. A little later on here, I'm actually going to be going over alternative medicines for different health issues. So if anyone, I know it's kind of a bit much to comment in the chat about your health issues, but if you would like to hear what kind of alternative medicines could be used for any sort of health issue you have, a little later on in the show, I will be talking about that. You can just go ahead and comment them, and I will let you know either what I already know, or I can look some up for you with this amazing book I have, which I will recommend to you guys in a little bit here. So just so everyone understands my background here, when it comes to all this, I've actually been very into alternative medicine my whole life. I'm super against going to doctors, super against the pharmaceutical industry, really not with it. I really am just into all natural healing and medicines as much as possible. I just, I've had my own experiences with the pharmaceutical industry, and I've noticed, it always seems to cause way more issues than it helps. Every time you get something prescribed, that's kind of what happens. It's like, okay, they'll take care of this one problem, but it's going to cause like 10 more problems if you take, this pharmaceutical. So that's just kind of the way it goes. And, I know a lot of people, me personally, I am very sensitive to chemicals and toxins and things like that. I know some people probably aren't as sensitive to these kind of things as me, but I really have issues with it. I've had issues with my skin my whole life. And, so for me, it's just like really important to be as all natural and holistic as possible. So, I'm going to be talking about the different vitamins I like to use, the different I'll be talking about my background with herbs in the show, and then also my favorite products, because and I'm not being sponsored by this in any way. I just want you guys to understand what kind of products I like to use, because Honestly, as soon as I started using all these, I have not been sick in 2 years. I've been doing very well health wise. So, I just kind of want to share with everyone my sort of healthcare routine and what I recommend. So growing up, my I had an energy healer in the family who practiced quantum touch, which I also now practice. It's kind of the part of the inspiration for my shaman spirits up here, and my whole life it was just to me like my whole family. None of us ever really went to the doctor. It was like if we had a problem, actually through quantum touch, my uncle was able to resolve a kidney infection for me, which normally you would have to go to the hospital for. And that's like how powerful these energy modalities are if you know how to use them correctly. And like I said, I guess I should do a little disclaimer here. I am by no means a doctor, but I have a lot of background in all this because, like I said, growing up, besides just the energy healing aspect of things, I was always very into herbs. My uncle had a really awesome herb garden. All growing up, I would go out to different nurseries with him and help pick out different herbs. And we would always come back, and before we planned them, we would go through all the uses of them and what health benefits they had and what they could be used for and like how you use them. And I highly recommend that, especially buying like guidebooks in your area if you want to like learn like herbs in your area, especially because you don't know where the world's going. Who knows, like in like 3 years here we might be in the middle of the apocalypse and we might not have a regular healthcare system. Not to be dramatic here, but that could be the case. So I definitely recommend going to a store and picking up a local guidebook just to know the herbs that grow naturally in your area. Here in California, I actually find sage and fennel growing everywhere out here on the mountaintops. So every time I go hiking, I always like to go out and collect some of that. A lot of lavender grows out here a lot too. And it's always nice to just kind of have your own herb garden at home. I used to do that back when I was in the Midwest and it rained a lot. But now being here, the sun is so dry and I leave home for travel so much that it's kind of hard for me to keep up with that. I've actually been thinking about getting a water circulating system that will turn on and off while I'm gone because the sun is just so hot here, it just incinerates things. But actually, rosemary seems to be doing pretty well in the dry climate out here. Besides that, I really just have a cactus garden right now. But yeah, so growing up, I was really I had this major background in herbs. I really knew what like every herb what its use was, like how you can use it. And because of that, right after I moved to LA, a little while after moving to LA, I needed a day job. I was obviously in the entertainment industry, but I needed a day job right when I first moved out here. And there was an organic food store across the street from me. And I'd already been into the idea of like, I understood everything that's going on with all these horrible companies like Monsanto and, all the chemicals they're putting in our foods. And so I was really all about being organic since probably around 16. I really just stopped drinking soda and for the most part stopped eating anything that didn't have a USDA organic label on the food. So, I was already very interested in all of this and I had this background in herbs and medicine. So there's this organic store across the street from me at the time. I didn't have a car out here yet and needed a day job. So it was very convenient and they needed a vitamin specialist. And basically a vitamin specialist at an organic store is someone who needs to know about all these different herbs and their different uses. So I had such an extensive background in that, even though I was very young, at probably like 18, 19 at the time, I was able to get hired there and start working there. And I learned so much. I learned so much more than just like, obviously I had this background in herbs before, but I didn't realize, what products, what companies were out there that, like kind of mix these herbs together in different formulas. And there's so many amazing products out there that you can use. So, and I definitely recommend Sprouts. Sprouts was the store I worked at. I know there isn't really as many in the Midwest or the East Coast, I believe, but I actually prefer Sprouts to Whole Foods. Whole Foods has a better food selection, but when it comes to vitamins and non-toxic healthcare products, I definitely recommend Sprouts. They have a much larger vitamin section. And like beauty products, alternative kind of beauty products. So I definitely recommend Sprouts for that. Really enjoyed working there, learned a lot. And before I get into the products that I liked, so I had to, as part of my training, I had to go through and obviously learn about everything the government was doing with our foods and all the toxic things in our foods, which was amazing because it was like even like the use for like coconut oil and why coconut water is so important. Like one thing I learned in the training there was coconut water is actually way more hydrating than regular water. So if you need to be hydrated, it's actually amazing to have coconut water because there's electrolytes in it. So it's just like random things like that I really picked up on, and it was a great learning experience. But as part of my training as being a vitamin specialist, I was given this book, which is Nutritional Healing. The prescription for nutritional healing. It's actually America's #1 guide to natural health. A practical A to Z reference to drug-free remedies using vitamins, minerals, herbs, and food supplements. And this is by Phyllis A. Balk, CNC. So here's the book right here. It's a big book. Insane. But so basically there's like an A to Z like glossary in here, and any issue you have, it could be anything. Like literally anything. You can look in here and just kind of flip through the page or the letter it would be under and find it, and it will list out all the food supplements you need to take, all the holistic things you need to do, and basically every alternative that you can use to try to resolve the problem without having to go to the doctor for it. So it's really amazing. I definitely recommend this. Very amazing. So later on, like I said, after I talk about the products I like, if you guys want to comment in the chat, any issues you may have, I'll look into this for you and let you know if I don't already know it off the top of my head. So, man, this is a big book. Okay, so I'm gonna get into the products right now. Okay. Actually, I'm gonna start with my energy work background. So, there's so many different energy healing modalities out there. A lot of people, when they talk about energy healing modalities, the first thing they think of is Reiki. But for me, I actually learned quantum touch, which is actually kind of a more of a masculine energy technique from what I've heard compared to Reiki. But quantum touch, we basically learn how to pull the energy up. Like, so it's like chi. Like when you're working with energy work, it's like chi or life force energy you're working with. I actually like to joke. I mean, Star Wars actually did a really great reference on this when they talk about the Force. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about chi, life force energy. These Jedis, anyone can be a Jedi. It's just working with life force energy or chi, or as Star Wars calls it, the Force, or really it's just love energy. If you know what that energy feels like, love energy, that's what you're working with here. That's what you're tapping into. And it's kind of like, source energy. That's really what it is. And it's really amazing. So when you're doing energy work, that's what you're tapping into. And one thing to keep in mind is we're not talking about healing when it comes to it. It's actually about resolving. So a lot of times when people have issues, health issues, it's usually 100% because their vibrations are out of sync. Like basically all your chakras and everything out of your body needs to be aligned perfectly. And if things aren't aligned, or you have some sort of thing in your consciousness that is making you vibrate on a different level, it's going to put everything out of sync and screw everything up. And I've said this in other shows before, but it's literally so important. So what I mean by that is like, so if you have someone in your past that you haven't forgiven, or something that you're just holding on to, someone that you're resenting, those kind of energies, those kind of vibrations are always going to screw you up. I've actually noticed myself, a lot of people who have cancer always seem to be someone that has is holding a lot of resentment towards either someone or a certain situation or something, and it's unfortunate. It's like, obviously we all go through things in our life, and a lot of times it's not our fault, but holding on to those kind of energies is hurting you. It really is. And if you are kind of holding on to that vibration, then it's going to screw up your whole energy field. It really is. And that's what it's about. And there's a lot of like amazing diagrams of this where it shows like the energy field around your body, and then it shows how it can be like messed up as soon as these things go out of sync. And that's really what it comes from. And so that's what I always tell people when it comes to healthcare. That's the number one thing that to me is the most important, is like resolving your childhood traumas and really working through anything in your life that you're holding on to. That's really what is most important here. Thanks for the super sticker, Renee. You are amazing. Need to go to San Francisco and meet up with you sometime. Anyway, yeah, so that's really, to me, before we even get into the products or anything else, it's all about the vibration that you're holding. And when I say that, like I said, it comes down to what are you holding on to? You need to figure out how to let go of it. And a lot of times, has to do with forgiving someone you maybe don't want to forgive. And that doesn't mean, no matter what someone did to you, it should be okay. It means like, how do you go back and look at that situation and look at it from a different angle, or resolve it with yourself, or don't blame yourself for what happened to you. It's like, that's kind of what we're looking at here. And that's what I really feel like is so important. And it's like, once you resolve those things in your life, if you have health issues, that's what it is going back and resolving those things before you do anything else. That's what's most important. It really is. People don't really understand the importance of that. I mean, seriously, there's been so many studies on this. It's like, obviously, stress is going to cause health issues. That's something that's very well known. But it's not just stress. It's anything that is kind of screwing with your consciousness. You can't sleep at night because of something that happened to you 10 years ago. You might want to go back and look at that, because that's affecting you. So that's kind of the number one thing I really wanted to talk about here. And to me, that is the most important thing when it comes to health. And this is just something that's been grilled into me my whole life, coming from a family of people that knew of energy healing modalities. So definitely recommend it. And a lot of people ask me like, how do I use my spears with my energy work? So like I said, with quantum touch, we kind of pull the Shi life force energy up. Imagine it kind of coming up to your head and then down through your arms and out your hands. And a lot of people, they're like, how do you feel energy? I like to just say like, okay, just try this, either with yourself or with someone else. When you have your hands together like this, don't you feel the heat or the energy like kind of coming like in between them? And like I like to actually, whenever people ask me this, like, because I usually have my spirit booth at like different conferences and even like kind of Burning Man type shows in LA, before COVID hit, obviously. But so I would always, whenever people ask me, they're like, oh, how does this energy stuff work? What you do is you can really just, you can feel it. Just put your hand over someone else's hand, or, in my energy healing classes, a lot of times we would have to like stand in front of each other and like kind of work on pushing our energy out. And some people, I guess, aren't really as sensitive to energy. Me personally, I've just always been sensitive to energy. I mean, I can feel someone's energy honestly, even very much remotely. I mean, if you know how to do energy healing practices, the idea of quantum entanglement, you can really work on someone that's on the other side of the planet. It's very interesting. And also, like I was saying earlier about kind of working through childhood traumas and things that has happened in your life, I actually was taught a really amazing technique, which I'll get into in a second. But before that, so with the shaman spears, different ways you can use these is a lot of so one technique that helps open up your chakra is spinning your finger in front of them in a clockwise motion, and that just kind of help energetically unblocks them and opens them up a little. So if you want to do that in a way that is more powerful and amplified, you can do that with the shaman spears. And the shaman spears are interesting because they have copper coils, crystals, um, quartz crystals, and magnets down the inside. So really, any energy you put into this. So, like I said with quantum touch, I channel the energy out through my hands. So if you're holding one of these and you're channeling it through one of these, it becomes very amplified and focused. So that's why I really like to just go hiking with these all the time. It's so fun. And so if you do that finger spinning technique over the chakras, with one of these, then that actually really intensifies it. Like, whoa, I can actually really feel that right there. That is like crazy. So that's like a simple technique I tell everyone at shows. If they're like, oh, I'm not sure how to use this, I just kind of, show them that technique, and that's pretty interesting. But and when you do energy work, it's like if you don't ever focus on the surface of the skin or the surface of the problem, you kind of go more into like the other layers of everything. And that's kind of an issue a lot of people have. Also, a lot of times if you're working on someone, I've learned that telling someone to say, I fully, deeply, and permanently accept this healing energy 3 times usually actually helps them to respond to it better. Because it's almost like asking permission, like, instead of just kind of pushing energy into someone without asking them, it's kind of better for them to like accept it first. It sounds kind of weird, but I mean, I've actually noticed it really makes it work much better. So definitely recommend that. So the energy technique I was talking about earlier, when it comes to resolving childhood traumas, things like that, or really any time in your life, you can kind of use the same method of channeling energy or just kind of focusing your energy, like I was just explaining. But this is a really interesting technique. So just get your hands and hold them together like this, and like I said, like you can feel the energy kind of between your hands. You can really feel it once you like start focusing it, and just focus on the energy in your hands. You can kind of feel it tingling in your fingertips after a while. But I want you to focus on, pushing it out of your palms. So try to like just kind of focus on, breathing the energy up and then just pushing it out down through your arms and through your palms. So once you do that, you can kind of start feeling the energy hitting each other a little bit from each direction. And if you just move it apart a little bit, now I want you to imagine, I know this is kind of like opposite here because I'm looking at the camera, but so this is your past and this is your present. So just imagine this is a timeline. This is your past, this is your present. And this is what I like to call timeline healing. I learned this in an energy healing class and it was really amazing. And it really works. Okay, so a lot of people don't realize, time is not linear technically. Like we perceive time as linear, but time is not linear. It is actually all happening at once. So that means at any time you can send energy to yourself at any point in time. And, just like I said, when it comes to energy work, it's not like you're healing, it's you're giving someone or yourself more energy so that they can resolve the issue or you can resolve the issue yourself. So it's not healing, it's resolving. Because if your vibration is out of sync, it's hard to have the extra energy to put it back in sync. So that's what we're doing here. So imagine this is the past and this is the present. So if you kind of take this hand, imagine, this is the present here still, and take this hand and just kind of run it along. Or you can start from the past and move this way. But if you at any moment you kind of feel like it wants to get stuck or you feel like a rock in the road, just kind of stop there, and you can just kind of channel the energy into that moment. So just breathe in. And if anything comes to you, just let the experience come to you. A lot of times, like, there's things that we block out. And those are the most important things to heal, or whatever you're blocking out. So you just, anything that you feel like, it starts to come up and you're like, no, I don't want to see that right now. That's probably what's most important for you to work on. So, anything that comes up, you can do this technique anytime. Like I said, and if there is just a specific moment in time that you want to send energy to, you can just focus on that moment and just kind of have that time in between your hands, like, and focusing the energy into that time. So if you just kind of work on that for a little bit, breathing energy into that time or that moment in your life, focusing the energy out through your hands, like, into this moment, you can actually kind of send energy into this moment. But when you're thinking about it, don't look at it as you were from the perspective you were looking at it at that time in your life. Look at it from who you are now, and look at yourself as you would look at a young child going through this experience, or someone you love that is going through this experience. That's how I always like to look at that here. So just working with that, like I said, you can work with that at any time. And I actually did this with a certain point in my life. I've done this with a few different people before, and it caused major changes. And a lot of people think, like, you can't change the past, but really you can, because time isn't linear. And, so I sent a lot of energy to a certain situation in my life, and I kid you not, it was a major change. I really felt it, and it really helped me a lot. And, it was my energy healing teacher who taught me this method. It was really interesting. Here, like, as an example here, he had this moment where he told me he went through a very bad breakup, and it was, like, really crazy. And at the time when it happened, he just felt this waterfall of energy going into him, at one point. And it was just this beautiful, loving energy. And he was just at home by himself. He was, like, kind of grieving over this breakup he had gone through. And then all of a sudden, this, like, waterfall of energy hit him. And he just felt, like, very clear and light. And he didn't know what had happened. He's like, what was this, And a little later on in his life, he learned this energy healing technique. And they asked him, like, what time do you want to send this back to? And he realized he had sent it back to that time before. That's what he had felt before, was himself. So he actually did some work on it, sent energy, and realized he was sending energy into that moment, but he already experienced this moment before. He already, felt this waterfall of energy hit him before. And so it's interesting. It's kind of like, okay, what happened there? Is it like there's, like, different timelines going on at once? But I did this for myself for different moments. And just, even if you don't believe in the whole energy aspect of it, just from a psychological standpoint, looking at things in that way, where instead of just, feeling things from the perspective you felt at the time, but going back and looking at it from the perspective you have now, and working through the moment and looking at yourself at that point in time as you would look at someone you love or a young child going through that experience, it really changes things, and it's so important. So I definitely recommend doing that. Someone said future me giving past me a hug. Yeah, I love that. Definitely. Sorry, I probably sound very airy fairy here and, like, annoying, but I really feel like these things are so important. And, like I said, it's like, even if you don't believe in the energy aspect of it. Just looking at it from a psychological standpoint, it's very important. So now I'm going to get into the products that I'm going to talk about. So, like I said, I worked for a few years or a couple years at this organic store as a vitamin specialist, and I learned a lot about amazing vitamins and products. And I just want to kind of share with you guys what I use on a daily basis. And I realized once I really started taking vitamins every day, I had no more health issue. I haven't gotten sick in a very long time. I used to be the kind of person that would get sick all the time, and I realized, if you're just slightly deficient in any vitamins or minerals, like it kind of can cause issues. So, and right now, especially with what's going on in the world health wise, all this is so important. So first I'll share what I take every day. So I actually like to take gummy vitamins a lot. I feel like my body has an issue like breaking down like the big heavy pills. So for the most part, I really like to just take like all organic, non-GMO gummy vitamins. So pretty much every morning I just go to my medicine cabinet, pop a bunch of gummy bears, and it's pretty funny. And for anyone that's vegan out there, a lot of these have vegan alternatives or vegan vitamins. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention earlier, my shaman spears are actually all vegan as well. I always forget to mention that. All the leather and the fur are faux. So, just letting everyone know that. So D3, this is something I take every day. This brand is Mega Food 1000 IU. I only take one a day every morning. It's USDA organic and non-GMO. So yeah, and obviously D3 supports bone, muscle, and immune support. So this is so important. And me being a ginger, I can't go out in the sun very much. I try to go out in the sun a lot, but I can't just be out in the sun all the time. Hey, Sarah, good to see you here. So yeah, D3, very important. Definitely recommend taking that every day, especially with what's going on right now in the world health-wise. It's something that's very important. And if you live in, not California or not somewhere that's warm, and it's winter where you're at, is even more important. So that's something I take every day. Obviously, vitamin C, most important. This is a great company. Healthcare Superfoods. So this is a great product right here. I actually kind of try different ones every time. Vitamin C is vitamin C to me, but this company, Healthcare Superfoods, is really amazing. And like I said, always going all non-GMO organic is the way to go when it comes to these things. So yeah, vitamin C, obviously very important every day. Right now, I've been taking this Ollie beauty supply stuff. You can actually find this at like Target and different beauty stores. But this one supports clear and healthy skin. It's called Flawless Complexion, Ollie. And like I said earlier in the show, I've always had major issues with my skin. It's just something that runs in my family. And this one right here is actually, ever since I started taking it, I take 2 every morning. It's really helped clear up my skin. So it definitely works. I highly recommend it if you have skin issues. Flawless Complexion by Ollie. And this one actually isn't non-GMO or organic, or doesn't have a label for it. So, I don't normally take stuff that's like that, but this one has definitely helped me. So I recommend it. Another thing I take every single morning. So these are the only 4 that I really take every day. It's good to when it comes to a lot of these vitamins and supplements, it's good to not become reliant on them. So like certain ones, like I would say like vitamin D, vitamin C, the general vitamins and minerals, those are okay. But there's other ones here that I feel like is important that you don't become reliant on. So after I show you this one, just know anyone I mentioned after that is not one that you should be taking every day, in my opinion. So colloidal silver. I take this every day. Man, this stuff is magic. It seriously is magic. Right now I've been taking natural path just because the one I normally take, I couldn't find it at the store the last time I was there. I normally take colloidal silver, which that's a great brand, but this one is natural path, and this one's been working out very well also. But colloidal silver is great for immune support, but also if you have any sort of skin infection or anything like that, if you just drop some of this on it, that works very well also. So I take some of this every morning, and people say they're like, you should be careful because your skin can turn blue if you take it every day. So a lot of people don't know. It's actually like silver, like real silver that's like in this water. It came from this place in the mountains somewhere. I can't remember where exactly, but it was kind of naturally found in the mountains, uh in a certain country. I can't remember where, but all the people that lived there were found to be super healthy, but their skin all had a slightly blue tint to them, but they were extremely healthy. So, you don't take too much, just take the recommended dosage. But I take it every morning, and I haven't I notice every time I take it, I don't have any viruses or sicknesses or issues like that. So I really think it's very important. And I do kind of get like blue veins over here, but I think it's just because my skin is so pale that you can like see the veins through it. So I will warn you, it might turn your skin a bit blue if you take too much. So, okay, so this one right here, I think chewable enzymes are very important. The brand I normally like to use, I don't have right now because it was out in the stores when I went to get more. But papaya enzymes are great for if you have acid reflux, um, or like heartburn, or just problems digesting. A lot of people have these issues and then they go and take like heartburn medication, which is actually very, very bad for you. If you take papaya enzymes, that actually helps the issue. Sorry, it's not doing a good job of showing this here, but papaya enzymes really helps the issue. And sorry, I was popping out, but yeah, and I highly recommend it. But like I said, this is something you would want to take as needed. Don't become reliant on it. Um, I actually don't have the probiotics I normally take right now. But this is also the same company. Let me do a screen share here. Pull this up. Okay. So this company, Garden of Life, is probably my top recommended company. Um, so when it comes to probiotics, Garden of Life is the one to go by. 100%. Really anything by them is 100% the one to go by. Let me see if I can pull up the, let's see here. Probiotics. So their probiotics is really the best. I actually did a lot of like little like seminars for them when I worked with them, and they just have like I think they have like the most strains in their products, which is amazing. Um, Also, I want to find there's this one product called chewable enzymes. Let me see here. Oh. I want to pull up this one because it was so amazing. Okay. This one right here, I have recommended this one to so many people because it really helps with if you have issues with digestion or heartburn. This one is the one to go with. It tastes amazing. It's a chewable product. So it actually tastes good. It's like, chewing on like a fruit flavored thing. And it works super well, very well. So I definitely recommend that. Okay, let me remove this here. Someone asked me, have you tried elderberry? Yeah, I definitely do that. Oh, and someone said I also take a drop of iodine for thyroid support. I forgot about that. I actually have that in my cabinet. I do try to take that as much as possible, but iodine can actually mess up your skin a little bit. So I don't take that too often personally because I have issues with that. But it's interesting because iodine was actually there was large amounts of it in our salt, and a lot of people were getting that in their diet from salt. But the companies that produce salt stopped. They started taking iodine out, and actually, iodine is it really makes you smarter. It raises your IQ. If you're taking a lot of it, if you're not taking enough of it, if you're deficient in iodine, your IQ actually lowers. So iodine is very important. So thank you for mentioning that, Mikey. Gematria, gematria. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. Definitely recommend that. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comments here. Someone said you need that meat. um, oh, okay. Sorry, I missed this super sticker. BPXM says, Apollo, when you feel energy reacting, is it vertical or horizontal towards you? Just curious. I wouldn't say it comes in a certain way. It's more of like a feeling. I don't really feel it physically. I mean, I guess it depends. You know, if it's being directed at you or if you're directing it at someone. Usually you can just kind of feel it around you. So sorry, I don't know if that's the best answer to the question. Mikey says here the presence of colloidal silver near a virus, fungus, bacterium, or any other single-celled pathogen disables its oxygen metabolism enzyme, its chemical lungs, so to say. Interesting. Yeah, colloidal silver is actually probably the only known thing that really helps with viruses. Like that actually helps battle like viruses that are in your system. So that's why this is so important right now. Definitely. Um so I'm going to share a few more products here. Let me pull these up. Okay. When it comes to focusing in just brain, like mental clarity, brain health, emotional health, there are these certain products which I highly recommend, which is actually a great alternative to the pharmaceutical crap that's out there that a lot of people are addicted to. So let's talk about that next here. So if you have an issue with stress, a lot of people take Xanax and things like that for stress. A lot of people have anxiety these days. Obviously, the way the world is right now kind of, causes those issues in everyone because it's such a, it's like we're constantly just being bombarded with these different frequencies and very busy, crazy days. And, it's just always like a lot. And just looking at your phone and watching TV and stuff is like bombarding your basically your brain chemicals are just like kind of in overdrive because of all these things that you're taking in all day every day in like today's society, which isn't really normal. It wasn't really normal for human society for the longest time. Oh, but before I get into this, someone mentioned apple cider vinegar. So while you mentioned that, I'll just go ahead and share mine. Obviously, most people know about this, but Bragg's apple cider vinegar, take it 3 times a week. That if you have, so I had issues in the past with kidney infections, and that's actually something that can help regulate those kind of things. Or if you have, any sort of thing that you need to clear out of your organs, even your pineal gland. If you want to decrystallize your pineal gland, I definitely recommend apple cider vinegar, just, in the morning or at night before you go to bed a few times a week. Definitely important. Because it just kind of helps clear things out. Garlic is the same way. Garlic helps very much in the same way as that. So, and lemon. If you put lemon in your water, that's another good thing that kind of goes along with that. So like I said, for regulating stress in your mood, um, this Bach organic flower remedies rescue pastilles. I really like these. I'm sorry, this is too bright here. Um, and this is actually a homeopathic thing. But it has like cranberry and they come in like different flavors, but this is actually a more homeopathic one, which homeopathic medicines are very interesting. A lot of people don't get that with those, it's actually they're working with a vibrational frequency in plants. And so certain plants affect our vibrational frequencies differently because of the way that there's the frequencies that they grow or that they are at. So that's what's interesting about homeopathic medicines, and I definitely recommend these Bach Rescue pastilles. Very good. So that's just kind of like a great like natural stress relief medication. 5-HTP. I may or may not have learned about this in my raver days back when I was a kid. Going to shows and being crazy as a teenager. This was something a lot of people learned about from, doing that kind of stuff back in the day. So 5-HTP, it's actually great for boosting your serotonin and replacing it, so if you have issues with just your mood in general, if you're feeling depressed, definitely don't take pharmaceuticals. Do not do that because it's just going to make any problem worse. Do this. Take 5-HTP, and this is much better. I actually, like I said, I don't recommend taking this every day. You don't want to become reliant on it, but if you feel like you need it, definitely pop one or two of these and have them around. It's good to have. Okay. So the next three are more brain products. There's a lot of great products to help you focus. A lot of them have to do with there's many different mushrooms that are actually great for focus and memory and things like that. So some of these products have a mix of these different mushrooms in them. But before I go into those, DMAE is a great alternative for Adderall. A lot of people have problems with Adderall and, problems with focusing, concentrating. Obviously, a lot of kids these days, they get prescribed it in schools, and which I think is really sad. I mean, honestly, people that get prescribed Adderall, it's just because their brains function in a different way and there's nothing wrong with it. They're just more of like hands-on kind of people, and it's harder for them to be kind of grounded. And really, the way our school systems operate is more for like 85% of society is more in a hyper focused beta brainwave state. Primarily, we all go through these different brainwave states throughout our day, but most people are primarily in beta brainwave state. But actually, people that have ADD, ADHD, things like that, really, they don't necessarily have a problem. Their brainwaves are actually just more in alpha theta brainwave state, which is it's kind of hard to be in that state constantly. But that was actually those kind of people that operated in those brainwave states. Back in the day, or back in ancient times, they would have been the hunters in the society. So they were the kind of people that would go out and they would put all their energy into what they're doing, to like hunt, or a lot of times they were the hunters, pioneers, people like that. It's like that kind of personality. Like now, these days, it's actually a more DNA gene. But now in today's times, those kind of people kind of tend to be artistic, entrepreneurial, or pioneer personality types. So, but like I said, back in ancient times, you would have been like a hunter. And, like those people, they really think in wholes. So it takes a lot of energy for them to do something properly. So it's like a lot of times they're kind of in a rest period. But then when they go out and do something, they really use like a much larger percent of their brain than someone that operates mostly on a beta brainwave state most of the time. But they may come off as like slower because they think in wholes or like images, which people that primarily operate in beta brainwave states aren't capable of doing. So that's why to me, and by the way, if you want to know more about that, I definitely recommend reading Wayseers by Garrett Jean Laporto. He actually, if you feel like you are like one of those kind of people or you have issues with ADD, ADHD, check that book out because that book really helped me out a lot. It made me understand why I was the way I was because I definitely fall into that. And it's actually really great to like learn what it tells you like what you can do to focus and operate better if you're someone who thinks primarily in theta, alpha, brainwave state. Um, but also, this is a natural supplement that helps with that helps focus, and it's called DMAE. So if you really need help focusing, and this is definitely not something I recommend taking every day. You just want to take this like one if you're feeling like, you're really having issues concentrating one day, take one of these. It definitely helps. And like I said, like people that are primarily operate in alpha, theta, brainwave state, being grounded is really important. So actually, if you're like one of those people, it's very important you work out on a regular basis, or you just go for a run, or walking in the grass barefoot is actually a great thing to do. That's something I learned from this book, and it really helped me out a lot. It made me realize like how important that is in my life. Ooh, did I knock my mic cord? Okay, good. Sorry. All right, let's see here. These are the different brain ones I have right now. This one's called Brain Awake. Let me see what's all in here, because I kind of forgot. So this one has mostly vitamins in it. Vitamin B6, vitamin B12, alpha wave L-theanine, caffeine, lemon balm, rosemary. There's different types of herbal extracts. So this one's good. It actually promotes focus and mental clarity, enhances performance or cognitive tasks, and supports retention of information. So this is more of an herbal one. The other one I'm going to show you is mostly with mushrooms. So someone says ashwagandha has been good to me. Yeah, definitely recommend that as well. So this one, what I don't like about this one is it's like in like big pills. So that's a little harder for me to take. But they're like liquid soft gels. And actually liquid pills are much better for your body to break down. So definitely recommend always do like liquid over like hard vitamins because it's actually hard. A lot of people, there's been studies that they actually think that people that take like hard vitamins all the time, their bodies aren't even really absorbing them very well. Liquid is always the way to go when it comes to vitamins. So this one's actually a liquid gel. And yeah, if you need help, if you just have like an important day, for me, this is something I would take if like I was about to go speak at a conference, or I had a day where I just had a lot of important things I had to get done. I really needed to focus. Maybe if I had a show or an interview, I would take this in the morning. Don't take it at night because you'll stay up all night. I did that. I had that problem last week. Same with this one. Do not take this at night or you'll be up all night. Definitely only take it in the morning. Unless you want to stay up all night, then take this. But yeah, definitely don't recommend taking those at night. So this one, like I said before, mushrooms. There's so many different kinds of mushrooms that are really great for your brain. One that isn't mentioned in this one. So this one's a mix of different kinds of mushrooms. There's this really amazing company called Host Defense Botanicals, and that's actually a company that they take all these different mushroom extracts. And these mushroom extracts are really the best for your brain. One of them is lion's mane. That's actually really good for memory if you have like issues with like memory loss. And I always thought it'd be interesting to experiment with someone that had Alzheimer's, or like people that are getting older. If you're getting older, I would definitely take lion's mane like every day, because yeah, that would be one that's important. This one actually, This one would be okay to take every day. I actually take like one of these every day. It says take 2 capsules once a day. I just take one of these every day because it's a little different than the other ones. This one's literally just different mushroom extracts. So it's not as like potent as the other ones. It's more of like a clarity kind of one. It's not like one that wakes you up. Like the other one, this one actually has a lot of caffeine in it. A lot of these brain pill things, they have a lot of caffeine. So if you have issues with caffeine, I wouldn't recommend this one. But this one is one that you can really, it doesn't have caffeine in it. This one's just one that you can take anytime during the day. It's like an extract, mushroom extract. So this one has, oh, it does have lion's mane in it. Okay, cool. So this one has lion's mane, bacopa, reishi. Reishi is a really great one for, kind of a natural energy and brain booster. Go to cola, ginkgo biloba, and cordyceps. Cordyceps, I love taking. Actually, I don't have it right now, but there's a great company that makes cordyceps powders. Like there's like these packets. I don't know if, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of like the packets, the instant coffee packets where you just rip it open, dump it in hot water, and it's like instant coffee. There's actually a company, I can't think of the name of it right now, but they make cordyceps mushroom, like chocolate, kind of like it's like almost like a coffee tasting thing that you can just, every day you just open a packet and drop it in the water. And it's kind of like coffee, but actually much better. So definitely recommend that. Someone said, let me see here. Oh, a lot of people are talking about what's the word I'm looking for here? If you have problems with I guess I can't think of the word right now. Like problems with like getting aroused sexually. Someone here said chaga mushrooms is very amazing. Mikey says chaga mushroom is very amazing. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong comment. Let me go down. The real king of the world says a mix of maca root, horny goatweed, Trobilus tertius is good for gentleman's sausage. If you're regularly making love, gives good sperm count and gets the old boy standing to attention. There you go, guys. Definitely much better than the pharmaceuticals. I don't remember what the pharmaceutical alternative to that for guys is, but that's definitely maca. I forgot to mention that. I do have a maca product I use a lot. I forgot to put it out here, but maca, super amazing. MACA. That's a good thing to put in your superfood shakes in the morning. Maca or coffee or anything. I definitely recommend maca for women for balancing hormones. Actually, for women and men balancing hormones, maca is the way to go. I've actually been meaning to take more of that lately. I noticed I actually have had issues with hormones being out of balance before, and I noticed while taking maca, I do feel much better. But also, if you're just having problems with, I don't know why I can't think of that word right now, getting aroused sexually, libido. There we go. Thank you, libido. You're having issues with libido, maca is the way to go. Ben says impotence. Okay, so oh yeah, I forgot to mention the name of this one. So this is, like I said, Host Defense. Great company when it comes to mushroom extract alternatives. Not like mushrooms that make you trip, but there's, like I said, a lot of amazing mushrooms that help support mental clarity. Very amazing. So I definitely recommend this company. Host Defense is the best one for that. And this one's just the brain one. It's just this brain. But they actually have ones that are just of each specific kind of mushroom. But this one's just kind of a general mix of different mushroom extracts together. I think it was it's just like in like a capsule. Just the herbs kind of crushed up in a capsule. So I actually just take one of these every day. It says take 2. I just take one every day. Okay, Okay, what did I have left here? Okay, I want to get into some beauty products too, but like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, please, please do my friend a favor and check out her company when it comes to non-toxic beauty products, Green Green Beauty House. So my friend, I've known her for many years, and she's a young mother now, and she is starting her own company, which is all non-toxic beauty products, and they are 100% non-toxic and safe. And just go to her site, greenbeautyhouse.com. That is grnbeautyhouse.com. So definitely recommend checking that out. And it's Women's Day. You want to support a young mother for Women's Day, please go check out her shop. But so here are my products that I use, and I haven't bought a whole lot of her products yet, so I need to make sure to do that myself because her products are. I looked at some of them while hanging out with her last weekend, and I was completely mind blown with what her products are in her shop. I mean, really incredible stuff. And like I said, it's supporting a young mother, so definitely recommend that. Really amazing products, but obviously they're like from really great companies, and she's kind of like reselling them or from her own company, I guess. So let me see here. Okay, I'm gonna show you 3 beauty products I like to use. Dr. Bronner's. A lot of people know about Dr. Bronner's, but I'll just say it anyway because they're so great. They sponsor a lot of events I've actually been a part of, and it's just a very natural Castile soap that has different essential oils mixed in, and I really like to use the lavender one because it's calming. So I am super against using any kind of toxic products when it comes to like beauty health stuff just because my skin is sensitive. So this is the only soap I really use. I just use this in the shower every day, and what's amazing about this is it's not just like a soap you can use in the shower or for washing your hands with, but also you can use it to do laundry with. They come in like big, like you can get like a big one too. Like this is like a kind of a smaller bottle, but you can get like huge bottles like this big. And they're really great for like cleaning, doing your laundry. Like every time I run out of like the natural detergent I use, I'll just dump some of this in until I can get back to the store and get more. Yeah, it's just really great. Definitely recommend it. They're just a really great company. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, so here's some of the uses here. Shave, shampoo, shower, bath, mop, laundry, and degreasing. So definitely recommend Dr. Bronner's. Most people know about that product, but sharing it anyway. So if you have issues with your skin, which I have had my whole life, this stuff is amazing for breakouts on your face. It's an all natural product. So it's called Indian Healing Clay. It's the world's most potent, powerful facial deep pore cleansing, and it's 100% natural calcium bentonite clay. And this is by Health and Beauty Aztec Secret. I really like the photo on here. So this is just like it comes in like a powder. Ugh, big dirt on me. But it's just like a powder, actually. And you just mix it with water yourself. So if you a lot of people will take it and mix a little, you can mix some tea tree oil or lavender essential oil in with it, and just mix it together with water. And it's just really great for, you just put it on your face. Oh, some people say, okay, it says right here, mix clay with equal parts of raw apple cider vinegar and or water. I actually haven't mixed it with apple cider vinegar before. Never read that before. So I'm going to have to check that out. And so it says, you just leave it on for like 5 to 10 minutes. And then take it off. And your face does kind of like it kind of feels weird because your face will like pulse, but like I said, it's like 100% natural calcium bentonite clay. So no weird ingredients in this. It's just all natural clay, which is really good for your skin. So anytime you have a breakout or anything, it's really great to just put this on. Or anyway, even if like your skin is fine, it's probably good to just do this like once a week or something anyway. Definitely recommend this one. I just love the photo that they have um, on the product. And this is at Sprouts or Whole Foods if you want to actually go to the store and get it. I always get it at Sprouts. I'm in section at Sprouts. I really love this all natural lotion. It is Mountain Ocean Skin Coconut Trip. This one's really freaking amazing. I actually found out about it. I never would have like noticed it. Like it was just like when I was working at the vitamin like beauty department at Sprouts a while ago. Someone came out to me and he was like, "Do you guys have Skin Trip? Did you run out?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "Oh, you don't know what it is?" And I was like, "No." This guy like came up and he's like, "This." He like pulled it out. He's like, "This is amazing." I was like, "Okay, wow. I guess I'm gonna try it." And so I started using it. I've been using it ever since. It actually smells like coconut, but it has like this really milky, like kind of texture to it. It's really amazing. It's just called Mountain Ocean Skin Trip, and it's all natural moisturizer. What's really amazing is if you've been in the sun all day. It feels amazing to put on if you're like sunburned. You've been in the sun all day. Definitely recommended. Really like it. Okay, so that was all the products I had. So, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, if anyone has any um health issues that they would like me to look up an alternative for in my awesome nutritional healing alternative book, let me know. Comment it in the chat. I actually had someone at the beginning of the show ask me, and so I wrote it down to make sure I went over it because I wanted to wait till the end of the show. But someone asked me, how do you get rid of heavy metals? So a great heavy metal detox diet includes cilantro, garlic, wild blueberries, lemon water, spirulina, and chlorella. That is what I would say is the most important. Those are both superfoods. Spirulina and chlorella are something that if you make superfood shakes, you should probably put in like every day. A lot of people don't realize that um, humans actually need a lot of chlorophyll, and like actually the proteins in plants is actually more potent than the proteins in animals. Actually, the reason why, so there's kind of this myth in the 80s that, oh, you have to eat meat to get protein. And really, that's a myth. And that's something that's kind of been discovered recently is like the reason why animals have protein in them is because they're eating the plants and they're getting it from the plants. So it's actually really important for humans to have these proteins. And a great way of getting those is by having spirulina or chlorella. Actually, I even tried taking chlorophyll before. That was interesting. I haven't done that in a while. I don't remember how it affected me, but um, I know there's a lot of chlorophyll or proteins in spirulina and chlorella. So that's probably why it's important in a heavy metal detox diet. Also, barley grass juice powder, Atlantic dulse, curry, green tea, tomatoes, and probiotics. So any of those, I mean, really, it seems to me like the way to go would be making a superfood shake every morning with like spirulina, chlorella, and the different things I've mentioned earlier. Probably just be good to make some of those every morning. I was actually doing superfood shakes every morning, and I haven't recently. I need to get back into that. It's definitely important. Let me see if there's anything else here. Oh, they say that some foods to limit or avoid if you're trying to do a heavy metal detox diet is rice, brown rice specifically because it often contains arsenic. Um, Fish, such as larger and long living fish, as they tend to carry more mercury. That's important, especially after Fukushima. There's been a lot of heavy metals and radiation in fish. I really like eating fish myself, or like seafood, and I've kind of avoided it in recent years because of that. Alcohol, obviously, alcohol is bad for that, and non-organic foods. So I mean, and so I'll say this again about organic foods. I mean, when I started learning about the importance of organic foods, which was probably like the year I graduated high school. That's really I didn't even know about the difference between organic versus non-organic before then. Because I just grew up in the Midwest, like a lot of people weren't into it out there. There weren't really any organic food stores out there, so I never really understood it until I really started getting into conspiracy stuff around that time, and like or delving more deeply into conspiracy stuff. And then I saw all the health food industry stuff, and it was really shocking to me. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want to spend extra money on organic food because, it's so much extra money and it probably doesn't even make a difference." To me, it's like, okay, would you rather spend a couple extra dollars on everything you're buying now and be healthy, or would you rather spend like hundreds of thousands of dollars later on in life if you get cancer or something because you're taking in toxins and heavy metals and pesticides and things like that? So that's to me, that's the way I look at it. It's so important to me. I mean, obviously if you go out to dinner somewhere or something, it's kind of harder, but whenever I cook at home by myself, I always, and with all my health and beauty products, I always make sure it's all organic. So definitely recommend that. So did anyone have anything they wanted to look up? Oh, so Mikey says, let's talk about pineal gland. They say K1 and K2 fish oil decalcify. I just went distilled water, then spring water. Water is an important thing that I didn't think about talking about in here. I always started with distilled water. When I probably around the same time I got into organic like food, I also like really started heavily researching water and the importance of that. And obviously, there's fluoride in the main water supply and our toothpaste and everything like that. I never have toothpaste that has fluoride in it. I've been doing that for years. I always make sure as much as I can, I really try to never drink water that has fluoride in it. And it's hard to find. You would think some company is a great company, and you look into it, and nope, it has fluoride in it. It's not going to say it on the label either. They never say it on the only way you know if a company has fluoride-free water is if it says fluoride-free on the label. If it just says nothing, it probably has fluoride in it. So, yeah, that's really important to me. I never drink tap water. Oh my God. I'd never do that. I don't even care if someone's like, oh, but I have a filter on it. No. Mm-mm. Not doing it. Sorry. I cannot do that. So, decalcifying your pineal gland. I don't know if that's in here. I know, obviously meditation's good for that. And apple cider vinegar. That's actually the number one thing when I was learning about decalcifying the pineal gland. Apple cider vinegar is great for that. A lot of people, they really hate taking this stuff because of the taste, but honestly, if you take it every morning, just like a mouthful or whatever every morning, a couple spoonfuls, you get used to it. I mean, they always say like, oh, mix it in water and try to dilute it or whatever. I just take a little swig of it every morning, and it doesn't really affect me. Like you just kind of get used to the taste after a while, I guess. Let me see. Let me know if there's any just any kind of health issue that you have. I can look it up. I'm gonna see if decalcifying the pineal gland is in here. So just go ahead and comment if you have anything you want me to look up. I don't have decalcifying the pineal gland kind of products in here, but as I was looking for it, I saw depression. Oh, that's Renee. You're on with it. Renee just commented depression. That's something that's affecting a lot of people right now, obviously because of what's going on in the world. So I think that is something important right now. So I'll just read to you right here. So like I said, man, this book is amazing. It's like literally any kind of issue. It can even be like mental health. You just look into this and it'll really go through and explain everything to you. Why things are the way they are, and not just the way the healthcare system tries to say things are, but actually what happens. Like right here it's saying hypoglycemia is a common cause of depression. I mean, there's like 10 paragraphs here, where they just kind of go into like, why is it that you have this problem? Not, here's your problem, here's some drugs. That's what the doctor always wants to do, because doctors aren't looking for patients, they're looking for customers. That's how the healthcare system works. So if you want to actually know why you have the problem you're having and to try to heal it at the root of the problem, it's definitely good to look into this book for that. Like I said, if you're just tuning in now, that's Nutritional Healing by Phyllis A. Balk. Also, obviously, it's saying in here, some people get depressed in winter months when the days are shorter and darker. So here, I'll get into the supplements here. So it's saying essential fatty acids, 5-HTP, like I mentioned earlier. 5-HTP, great for that. But don't become dependent on it. Just take it when you feel like you need it. Tyrosine, which alleviates stress by boosting production of adrenaline and also raises dopamine levels, which influence moods. I forgot to mention what 5-HTP actually does earlier. It says here in the comments, it increases the body's production of serotonin. It should not be used with other antidepressants. Let me see here. Vitamin B complex injections. A lot of people that have issues with depression aren't getting enough vitamin B. I know the injections are definitely great for that. And it says also pretty much every kind of vitamin B. So vitamin B6, vitamin B12, vitamin B complex, any kind of vitamin B is really great for that. Zinc, says here, zinc is great because it's found to be deficient in people with depression. Use zinc gluconate lozenges or OptiZinc for best absorption. Calcium and magnesium is helpful because it has a calming effect needed for the nervous system. Works with calcium. Use magnesium aspartate or magnesium chelate form. It says here choline is important, or inositol or lecithin, because it's important in brain function and neurotransmission. So yeah, it also says vitamin C is helpful, and so that's what's interesting about this book is it'll talk about, like, here it'll list all the supplements first. Like, first it'll get into a paragraph of explaining why you're having the issue you're having, like the causes of it, which doctors don't normally ever do. And then it'll talk about the supplements, and then it'll talk about the herbs. So the herbs it talks about here, after you look into the supplements and the reason for the supplements, some herbs that can help with depression are balm, also known as lemon balm, is good for stomach and digestive organs during stressful situations. Ginger, or ginkgo biloba, licorice root, oat straw, peppermint, and Siberian ginseng may be helpful. And that is all in this brain, host defense brain mushroom extract I mentioned earlier. Kava. Kava helps to induce calm and relieve depression. A lot of burner events here in LA, we would have these they would kind of do these kava like mixing parties where they would have like I guess like like burner like spiritual events. They would like make like cacao and kava and mix them together and do like a ceremonial thing with it. So that's really interesting. It can make you a little drowsy though, but it definitely helps calm you. St. John's wort, that's the one I forgot to mention earlier. That's really great for anti-anxiety and for stress. And so here's some recommendations. Besides, the supplements and everything, just the regular holistic recommendations for depression would be eat a diet that includes plenty of raw fruits and vegetables with soybeans and soy products, whole grains, seeds, nuts, brown rice, millet, and legumes. A diet too low in complex carbohydrates can cause serotonin depletion and depression. If you're nervous and wish to become more relaxed, consume more complex carbohydrates. For increased alertness, eat protein meals containing essential fatty acids. So I mentioned that earlier. Omega-3 fatty acids are super important. Apparently people that have issues with depression are a lot of times not eating and taking enough of that. So omega-3 is super important. EPA and DHA. Omega-3s. That's something that's really important in healthcare, diet, alternative medicine that I actually didn't mention a product with that. I've been taking it in a while just because I'm a little wary of omega-3 like fish oil stuff because sometimes they can contain mercury if you go with the wrong company because of the fish that they're using for it. So, someone here said, and I could talk forever on all this. So someone here asked hernia. Is there an issue for a hernia? Or what you can do for a hernia. Let me see here. Okay, so it says hiatal hernia, see reflux, heartburning reflux disease, heartburn and gastroesophageal reflux disease. Okay, let's see here. Sorry, it's taking a while for me to find. Almost there. Okay, here we go. So apparently a hernia would have a lot to do with heartburn. So, saying here, it said to flip to that. So I guess it has a lot of the same things you would take for this would be for that. So this heartburn is a burning sensation, pain in the stomach, chest, behind the breastbone. It may be accompanied by bloating, nausea, shortness of breath. Like I said, it always explains things at the beginning. Okay, so it says here, people with hiatal hernia often experience heartburn. It can also be triggered by certain foods. Common trigger foods include alcohol, caffeine, chocolate, citrus fruits and products, fats and fatty or fried foods, peppermint, spicy foods, and tomatoes and tomato-based foods. Gallbladder problems, stress, allergies, and enzyme deficiencies are other possible contributing factors. So apparently it relates a lot with heartburn. And like I said earlier, this company, let me share my screen again, Garden of Life and their organic digest enzymes, really amazing for that. Definitely recommend that. So the supplements recommended for that are papaya tablets. And these are papaya tablets. I talked about these earlier. Oh, sorry, it's so bright. But Super Papaya Enzyme by American Health. The chewable enzymes are always the way to go. Definitely. Vitamin B complex. Acidophilus, which is a type of probiotic. Calcium, magnesium, and potassium. And when it comes to herbs for hernias, aloe vera juice aids healing of the intestinal tract. Interesting, I didn't know that. Catnip, fennel, ginger, marshmallow root, and papaya tea all aid in proper digestion and act as buffers to stop it. Drinking chamomile tea can relieve esophageal irritation. And yeah, I can just go on forever with these things. But that's just a little test of what you can all do here. I think I'm gonna end this now because I've been talking for a while here. I hope you guys have learned a lot. I mean, this has been interesting for me too, and I actually really enjoyed doing this show. Oh, sorry. One second. Someone said eye drop recommendations. I would just say go to a Sprouts, or if you don't have a Sprouts near you, a Whole Foods, and ask them. I don't have any off the top of my head, but I would definitely say any sort of natural one would be way better than a pharmaceutical one. So definitely check that out. But so like I said, if you want to know all the natural alternatives to any sort of issue you may have, this is the way to go. Nutritional Healing. Prescription for Nutritional Healing by Phyllis A. Balk. Super informative. Highly recommend. They probably have a newer edition to this now. It's been a few years since I got this one, and I think they revise it every year, which is great because they actually share a lot of products, like the ones I mentioned. Like they'll share like a lot of the products that are in stores that you should actually go buy. So definitely recommend that. So maybe I'll do another health episode sometime because I really enjoyed doing that. To me, like I said, any all natural alternatives are so much better than going to a doctor or, taking pharmaceuticals. So I hope you all enjoyed this show. And please, you can go check out shamanspears.com. That is my store with my art. And I have a few more spears left. I am trying to build this studio right now. I got everything to build it, but I got to do all the soundproofing, and it should be good pretty soon here. And once I get that all going, also any spears you buy is going to help me fund editing and filming some more higher production episodes that I want to do on here that are actually more well scripted out and not just me sitting here talking and rambling on. Like, I know you guys like that, but I'm excited to do more with this show. So, and like I said, I should be in the studio within the next couple weeks here. It's taking a lot more work than I thought getting it together, but it's going to be really cool when that happens. I won't just be doing it from here. I'm going to have someone actually helping me run the cameras and everything, and I'm going to have like different angles, and I'll actually be bringing people in to interview as long as they're in the area. So it'll be like a talk show, basically. So I'm really excited about that. So please, if you want to help me with that whole operation, check out my Shaman Spears, shamanspears.com. Also, you can donate at my PayPal tip jar at Apolla Asteria on PayPal. So thanks to you all for being here, and until next time on Apollo's Odyssey, over and out. Oh, also, I'm trying to do shows every Tuesday and Thursday. Once I get the studio going, it'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I will be out of town this Thursday, so most likely my next show will be on Tuesday. But just to get you all prepared, I will be doing shows every Tuesday and Thursday once the show is really up and running. So I should have a show next Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. Hope to see you all there. Until next time, over and out.